Also, once again, we are still in the presence of 20-year-old WBC heavyweight titleist Mike Tyson, who last Saturday night, with his two-round knockout of Trevor Berbick, became the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Alex, you were at ringside as Mike took the ring at the Las Vegas Hilton against Berbick. What were your impressions?
Well, the thing that amazed me, Mike, is that of all the fights I've seen you in, you appeared the calmest I've ever seen you before a fight. What did you do to cope with the pressure going in?
Well, at this particular time of my career, a very brief career, that I had no more doubts. I put in the 7 years. I trained. I went through the experience. Fought all the contenders that were qualified to fight and beat them. And there was no doubt in my mind I was going to win this championship. And I had that deep belief.
You say it was a brief career so far, but Mike, this was the 28th fight for you because of the whirlwind schedule you followed. Let's take a look now at exactly how action took place as Mike Tyson and Trevor Berbick took the ring for round one at the Las Vegas Hilton. Mike, you weighed in at about 223, I believe, a couple pounds heavier than Trevor. All right, this is first round action. Get us started here and tell us what was happening.
At this particular time, I was just going all out. I was just struck. I was a little excited, but I was confident as I landed the punch that he would go leery, and I was just planning on putting all the pressure on him as possible.
Were you surprised that he did not try from the very beginning to stay away from you, Mike? I mean, he basically came straight at you.
Well, he put up a good fight. He's a man to his word. He's a champion. He had pride. He stuck in. He said he was going to come and fight, and that's what he did.
This, of course, the first opportunity for those of you to see this on network television who might not have had a chance to see it on home box office last Saturday night.
He was very strong also. It was very tough to push him back. But I knew that he knew that he was a very strong opponent. And I said, well, he's going to be strong, and I knew he was going to run into something.
I thought at this stage, Mike, he looked a little bit intimidated. Do you consciously do anything to intimidate your opponents? Do you put fear in their hearts?
No, not at all. If he appears to be intimidated, that's his problem. I'm in there to do the job.
Mike, you didn't throw any body punches in round one. Were you conscious of wanting to go for the head right away?
I had the intention of taking him out in the first round. I wanted to take him out in the first round.
Why was that significant to you?
Because I wanted to be somewhat of a spectacular finish and finish it quick.
And at this point, you must have felt pretty confident that that was going to be the case.
Most definitely, but he was holding me a great deal, and I was trying to give the referee a signal to he's holding and tell him to let me go.
He also got your attention with a couple of punches, didn't he?
Nothing to great significance, I would say.
So you've been hit harder before?
Most definitely, yes.
You worked the jab a little bit there. At this stage, is there any weakness that you want to exploit?
It was just that the fact that he was in there and he was pushing me back. And as I was saying before, I couldn't push him back because he was so tremendously strong. And I was hoping that he'd keep coming forward so he could take the impact of the punch coming in. And you'd feel it to a very awesome effect.
He was leaning on you a little bit and attempting to hold you, but for the most part, you were able to get your arms free and throw punches in this first round.
Yes, but not as many punches as I wanted to throw. I could have used my jab a great deal more, I see here. And I was making a miss also. And then I put the combination together, and as you see there, he's on clear street.
Are those combinations purely instinctive, or are you setting up a plan in your head to throw a specific combination?
When I see an opening, I don't hesitate. I throw the punch because I never know when I'm going to get that opening again.
Now, at the end of the first round, Mike, Trevor stuck his tongue out at you. Were you aware of that?
I wasn't aware. I know what
You're going to see it here as the bell sounds to end round one. There it was. Trevor turned and momentarily couldn't get the tongue all the way past the mouthpiece, but wanted in some small way to taunt you there.
Well, as you know, it wasn't helpful towards him.
At the end of round one, what did Kevin Rooney have to say to you in your corner?
He was saying, I'm going head crazy. Hit the body first and then hit him to the head. He said, you're throwing too many punches to the head, which he was right. But then I said, okay, Kevin, don't worry about it, because I knew the fight, within a few more rounds, the fight was over. I really deep down believed he wasn't going to last this round.
All right, Alex, let's take a look now at round two, and I'm sure at this point you were one of those who were convinced that Mike was going to make short work of Trevor Berbick.
Yeah, he looked very powerful. He'd hurt him early in that round. I was very surprised, as was Angelo Dundee working Berbick's corner, that he continued to remain right in front of Michael. There's the right hand. And down goes Berbick.
You can see how quickly Trevor scrambled to his feet after that knockdown, which had appeared inevitable basically from the opening seconds of round one.
You had him hurt here, Mike, but you didn't rush in at him. You took your time coming in.
No, because I was aiming mostly for here, because that's how I dropped him the first time. I was aiming all my punches right behind the ear, and when I saw him the first time, I heard him make some kind of a squeamish noise like a woman, and so I just kept placing all the punches behind the ears, mostly on the left-hand side of him.
Are you still thinking at this point of what Kevin Rooney had said about throwing some body punches? You hadn't acted on it to this point.
No, but I hit him somewhere in this round. I hit him with a good body punch.
Right before the final knockdown, as a matter of fact, you hit him with a sensational body shot to the ribs. That's still to come, about a minute away from here. As through this point, as you said, Alex, Mike was very patient in attempting to set Berbick up.
Yeah, I was thinking as watching this fight live that he was taking a little bit too much time, that he had his man hurt and he would have jumped on him a little bit more, but he knew obviously that it was just a matter of time before he took him out.
Correction, Alex. There's no way I could see the Berbick had any chance. No way. And I refused to let. Right there was a good body punch, and right behind the ear again. And right there I could feel that the fight wasn't lasting any much longer.
So you believed at this point that you were going to take him out in this round?
Yes, most definitely.
Have you ever felt more confident in a fight, Mike?
Never. This fight I felt supreme confident. Because I was so interesting, because to myself I was saying, we're going to really see how good I am to myself. This is interesting. I'm going to place my skills up against the champion's skill. And we're going to see who's the best fighter. Then I'm going to find out really how good I am.
There was the good jab.
The jab was hurting because the jab was very hard, but it wasn't constantly.
All right, we're getting toward the crux of the matter here. There was one shot to the kidney, and there he goes. The left to the temple was called by most at ringside the punch that finished him off. I thought that the kidney punch might have had just as much to do with it.
Well, I don't know. I do it with, like, very bad intention, but he didn't react any. He didn't make any squeamish remarks or anything. And I just missed the uppercut. And when I hit him with the left hook off the side of the temple, it was like a delayed reaction. And he just collapsed there. And it seemed like he was okay, but his legs couldn't hold him up.
And thereafter, Berbick had struggled 3 times to get to his feet. The good night from Mills Lane. Another look now at the first knockdown of the round. The right cross, missing with the left hook, and another right to the
behind
temple.
the ear. No, that was behind the ear. I tried desperately to hit him behind the ear because I was trying to bust his ear so he could get a cauliflower ear and the referee would stop the fight.
And now the second knockdown, the one that finished Trevor Berbick. There was the shot to the temple after the right to the kidney. This is fun for you to watch, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. I see so many mistakes that I made.
You do see mistakes that you made?
Most definitely, yeah.
I'm sure that were Customato still alive at this time, that he too might tell you that there were mistakes that you made. And I'm sure that your thoughts were with Cuss after that fight that night.
Most definitely about that, because, you know, he helped develop my character, my skill and everything. And to proceed or match something like this, he prepared me, knowing that one day I would fight for the title and be the youngest champion ever. And it was heavy. Like you say, if I had to come home to him the next night, I would stay upstairs in my room because I knew I would hear so much criticism for all the mistakes that I'd done.
Alex, quickly, a final question for Mike.
Well, I think Mike just hit the crux of the problem that he will face in his quest to become a great champion. He said character. And Cuss was a great believer in character. What are you going to do, Michael, to cope with all the pressures and the temptations to the self-discipline that's going to be necessary for you to become a great champion?
Well, I know my job. I know what I have to do. And I feel at my job I'm the best at what I do. And the other things that determine your greatness and everything, you just have to prove by longevity, fighting and beating everyone around.
All right, Mike, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you, Alex, for joining us for a look at that fight. We've got to get to some commercials right now to make up for the long period of time that we were able to spend doing that. So we'll be back with more on the Prudential Post-Game Scoreboard right after this.